Hey, what's up everyone? It's Justin and welcome to the channel. For those of you returning, welcome back. I know the movie reviews on here are few and far between, but I'm still gonna pop on here occasionally for this. I know early critic reviews shit on this movie, but here I am still, regardless, to give you all my spoiler-free thoughts and opinions after seeing the latest Marvel Comics film, Morbius. For those who are unaware, which I know there's still some of y'all out there, Morbius is based on the character Morbius the Living Vampire from Marvel Comics. Usually seen as a Spider-Man villain, this version is more standalone for now and centers around Michael Morbius finding a cure for his rare blood disease. But the side effects aren't what he expected. This movie sees him dealing with all these newfound side effects, or abilities if you will, but that doesn't come without opposition, just like any comic book film. I was shocked at this honestly, but I'm gonna start out by saying I really enjoyed this movie. No, it's not an April Fool's joke. The movie isn't perfect. Is it even great? Not even close. But for me personally, I just think the good outweighed the bad. Jared Leto in this film, his performance was solid. I mean, it's not Oscar worthy or anything like that. I haven't really seen anything from him before film-wise that stood out to me. So seeing this, I was like, okay, yeah, I actually like him in this. Then again, the only other movies I really saw him in was early acting gigs like American Psycho, Urban Legend, which like he was fine in that. And Suicide Squad, which we all know how that went. But his acting in this one, I don't know what it is. It was just something that I weirdly connected with. I definitely like to see him return to this role again. He's a little bit emo and has a dark sense of humor. Like, mentally, I can see his character as something, there's a certain level of social awkwardness to him that I think fits. He's out here helping other people with their medical conditions despite him dying from his. I don't know, his heart's in the right place until he just loses complete fucking control. I mean, let's be honest, when he does, those are some of the best scenes. The supporting cast, I mean, they did an okay job. They were functional. Matt Smith just looked like he had a great time filming the movie, and I'll just leave it at that. The action was fun, and I like how they depicted his powers, like the echolocation, to see the waves pulsate like that. Seeing them like ripple off of buildings and clothes, and just like, it helped you see what he saw, so to speak. The slow-mo shots, Michael Morbius' relationship with the bats, just all his powers as a whole were badass. I was surprised because in the trailers it looked a little iffy, but the CGI actually wasn't that bad. I mean, for a lower budget movie, that is. There was a few shots earlier on when I was like, yeah, that's green screened as hell, This movie had the perfect runtime as well, coming in at an hour and 44 minutes, I believe, with the post-credit scenes. I think it's kind of just a nice break when we've been seeing movies lately for comic books that have been 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours and 27 minutes or whatever. Not crapping on these movies or saying anything. It's just I can actually watch a movie and do other stuff later on after I see it. It's not an event movie. The horror aspect was cool. The transformation sequences, the scenes of people getting hunted down, and even him trying to run tests on himself and see what his true potential is and push himself to his limits. I definitely got Jeff Goldblum vibes from The Fly in this. As far as negatives go, I won't dwell on it too much, but the first few scenes in the movie and the 2 post-credit scenes were choppy as all hell. Like, I'm sure on paper it made sense, but just the execution wasn't there. I don't know why they chose to do things in that order. It just felt like it was slapped together or rushed at the last minute. Also, I won't say with who, but there's this romance in the movie, and maybe there's some subtle hints earlier in the film that I missed. But when you finally see it come to fruition later in the film, you're like, yeah, I guess. Like, I don't think there was enough in there to kind of make me care about this relationship or maybe even root for this person to be in said relationship. And one last thing before I wrap this up, it's not really a negative for me either. Some of the earlier promotions for this film may have led people to believe that this film was going to go in a certain direction, and when it didn't, I think people were super upset and frustrated, and there's already people complaining about it. And here's my take on that. It's nothing new, guys. They've done it with Avengers, showing different stones on Thanos' gauntlet. Then when we got to the actual movie, the scene went down differently. Hereditary, the horror movie that was marketed as a possession-type movie where this girl was the main character, we all know how that went. Hell, even with Spider-Man No Way Home, they edited out entire characters from an important shot. I know I might be coming off a little aggressive, but if people are genuinely shocked that they removed scenes from the trailer because maybe the movie did some reshoots, went in a different direction, whatever. Have y'all ever really seen a preview for a movie in the past 10 or 15 years? All in all, this movie was entertaining as hell for me, and I just had a fun time. There was good action, special effects. I liked the consistent darker tone with just a splash of campiness and light humor, which some of the jokes that were shown in the trailer, they did cut out. I mean, it makes sense. If you're not gonna go for too much of a comedic or lighter toned film, then I understand why you might want to switch things in the final cut. It happens all the time. Would I've liked to see this movie R-rated? Of course, you guys already know me. I would love to just see any comic book character just go off. The vampire scenes were still visceral, and I'm not hating on it because it wasn't R-rated. It's just like, oh, come on, man. Like, this, like, you could have gone a little bit further. The story is somewhat generic, but for a film like this, it's okay, honestly. Is this better than all the other Sony films so far? Hell no. Is it better than any of them? I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, in my opinion. I really didn't like that movie. If y'all didn't really like this movie, I get it. It's not for everyone. There's a lot of people that are divided on this. But for comic book fans, I'd recommend it. Go see it. Have your own opinion. Where the Sony franchise is going after this, I have a vague idea. But I mean, we got the Kraven the Hunter movie coming out soon. And there's a Madam Web movie, I think, coming after that. Who knows what else they're cooking up. But let me know how you guys really feel in the comments below. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Until next time.